Welcome to the show tonight. Welcome to, I guess, the number one multinational 118th World Building Show on Friday nights on YouTube. So, tonight we've got a whole bunch of stuff to talk about. But first of all, I want to thank the community and everybody that's coming out every single week to support the show. And just, you guys are all part of the consortium, man. Like, it doesn't happen without you guys. And I want to thank you, sincerely, for coming out every week. So without further ado, I'm going to bring out one of my partners in crime here, Famous Studios. What's going on, my friend?
What's going on, gang? And yeah, I want to echo what Rad said. Thank you guys so much for coming out. Everybody who's tuned up every Friday at 8 o'clock. It's an ask. It's Friday night. People usually go, out on date nights, hang with their family and whatnot. So the fact that you guys choose to carve out an hour and a half of your days to come hang out with us is super cool. I also want to give a quick shout out to Outer Multiverse, who just launched an awesome new channel trailer showing off their customs. So go check that out. But thank you again, everybody who's here.
No doubt, no doubt. So while we're waiting for everybody else to show up here, let's bring one of our first guests out tonight. It's been a little while, but here we go. It's Timbo Toys. What's going on, man?
Hey guys, how you doing?
Long time no see.
Tim, how are you?
I am doing good. Yeah, doing good.
Good.
Looking forward to being here and talking 3D printing, world building. This is the number one show to be on. So, and after last week, a little nervous to be on, but hey, I'm excited.
The number one thing that I need you to do first before we get started, before we talk any toys, 3D printing, what you got, anything like that, is I need you to turn that lava lamp on behind you, because I'm feeling like the curly hair and the beard. You got the lava lamp with the vintage toy poster. So I'm going to need that bad boy cranking in the back the next time you're on live, or if you can get that going on now, please. And
Got
it going.
I didn't know if I'd have enough time to get it going, because I'm doing this from my office tonight, because the place I usually do it, I don't get a good signal, and you guys think I'm, murdering people. So trying to remedy that tonight.
To be fair, when you did leave camera, there was screaming. So
yeah, there was a lot of screams, and not for nothing, but now you look like a murderer even worse, because you've gone to a separate location. Now you're not even back at the spot you were at. Suddenly you're in a nice, clean, well-lit area, trying to smooze us with lava lights and vintage posts. I'm just saying.
Yeah. No, hey, I figured out what happened with that was I had my Bluetooth headphones in, and I had taken them out and just set them on my bedside table where my wife was watching TV. And I went downstairs to start the live stream, and I didn't think they would still, be connected. So they were connected upstairs. So, they've got a mic built into them too. So
no doubt.
I think that was why I couldn't hear anybody. I couldn't talk. So
yeah, you guys know him. You love him. Here he is, Wenzilla.
Hey,
there he is.
On, man?
I couldn't find my Bluetooth headphones, so that was cool. Because once you log into this, you have to have them already going. So
I just told a story of Bluetooth headphones.
I know. I was here listening in the background. No, sorry. So welcome back, everyone.
I was waiting for the opportune time to get you in there.
Yeah. But yeah, welcome back to the number one 118 World Makers Consortium, World Makers Toy Show, Toy Cast. I can never say it all right. 8 p.m. every Friday.
I did it pretty good at the beginning, man. When you watch the replay, man, I got it out there. I was worried about it. Before I came on, I practiced it. My wife's like, "What are you talking about?" He's like
Eminem. He's got the gray hoodie on. He's got a headset. He's in the kitchen, just
puking on the floor. Blah blah blah. Yeah, I don't know. I forget that. Was that 8 Mile?
Yeah, that's not how it went, dude.
But
anyway,
our other guest for this evening, he's coming from the other side of 3D printing. He's a resin printing guy, and he does some pretty sick customs. Waste Man. What's going on, man?
There he is. What's going on, Waste Man?
Hey, guys. You guys hear me okay?
Oh yeah.
Your voice is sweet, sweet music to my ears. Let's do this.
Oh, wow.
And for Rubber Ducky, let's do this. But yeah, before we get rolling here, of course, Bjorn was here. He sets up a tent last night. So he was sleeping.
He was the guy first in line.
Yeah, he's always
for episode 1.
If you ever want, like, if you want an iPhone or a video game on the release date, just talk to Bjorn. He's there first, man. He'll totally hook you up. And here's a recent one. You can check his Twilight Tabletop Stop on Instagram. Check his stuff out. Yeah, that's a mouthful, man. I can't believe I got that out. So yeah, go check his stuff out on Instagram. He's doing some pretty cool stuff. We got Dystopian Playgrounds here tonight, of course.
Dystopian Playgrounds. We're gonna get this right. We're gonna correct an egregious error that we've been doing on all the podcasts. I want to apologize on behalf of everybody except for Dom. Since Dom's not here, he can't defend himself. I get to poke fun at him. So Dystopian Playgrounds.
Dystopian. No, I didn't even notice that until you just pointed out right then and there. And embarrassed me on national television. How dare
it's all right. Hey, I don't even know who this Dom guy is that you're talking about, but he sounds like a foolish man. So he's probably into Marvel. He's probably into Marvel trading cards, bro.
Probably.
I don't want to say anything. I've got a binder of the whole set sitting right behind me. So one of these days I will like hang out with Dom and we'll talk about cards, but not today. Not today. I keep meaning to block this guy. Like, he's always in the chat, but like I can't. Like, for some reason, YouTube won't block him. It's ridiculous.
That's weird. That's my favorite. That's my favorite YouTuber. I don't know.
Yeah.
If you guys have checked out their channel, Famine Studios, tremendous channel, great looking guy, great talker, just tremendous toy maker. Absolutely check them out.
And we've got Outer Multiverse, of course, here tonight. Thanks again, man.
Hey, what's up?
Fatback Station. What's up, brother? What's going on, man? High Zone 5, and I won't say how I know High Zone 5.
I know how you know him. You guys are really good 3D printing buddies, and I don't know why he's not on the show. Why is he not on here? What's going on?
You'll have to talk to him about that. I'm not.
High Zone. Damn it, High Zone.
Just the way she goes. The way she goes.
Well, if you're going to promote every week that he's your buddy of 3D printing, and we're doing a 3D printing episode, I'm just saying.
I'm sorry, man. You'll have to reach out. I'm not going to say why he's not on the show. It has nothing.
He's probably camera shy. A lot of the guys don't want to be on camera, or they were part of like a biker gang and they can't be on camera. So because they're in witness protection, so they can't put their face on the screen because AI will be like.
You forgot about rule number 3, though, Josh.
Uh-oh.
If they're puppets, now that puppets have been banned from the show.
No, they're not.
They can't.
Sam,
it's in my rider. It's in my rider. Puppets, no go.
No puppets.
Sam is one of my best friends. I can't believe you said that.
Your best friend. Oh well, he was entertaining, dude. But that was intense. Like, I feel that even the chat that night was confused. That's just how I feel.
I think it was hilarious. I loved it, and
it was hilarious. I will not deny you the fact that it was funny. It was just like, I don't know.
Just a look on all of your faces. Anyway, let's go 3D printing because I was ready for it. I want to hear. This is something I know nothing about, so I want to get some schooling.
We will by the end of this show, man. You'll be converted. And you'll be like, that's it. I'm ordering like 3 Ender 3s off of Amazon tomorrow. That's the way it's gonna go.
Nope.
No.
I can't, man. If I didn't do toy photography, like if I didn't have that, then I would definitely do printing because it just takes up too much space for photography, man.
Well, yeah. When we get to that, I'm gonna be like dead honest with how I feel about it for sure. Like, I don't want to like mislead any people because like, yeah, man, it's like it's definitely a patience thing, I think.
Yeah.
So if you're like a guy that like tried to learn guitar and then like threw it in your closet or smashed it on the ground, like that's not for you, man. Like,
that's me. I thought I could play a bass, man. I was watching Fieldy from Korn. I was like, I could do a slap bass. I could do that shit. So I go to my friends.
Bass player can't even do that shit.
So I go to my friend's like little studio and like, bow. Like, nope. That doesn't sound anything like that. It's so weird. I'm not good.
You started and you were inspired by somebody who's very talented. So.
He is very talented.
Yeah. But yeah, weird that you just picked something up for the first time and weren't instantly good at it. That's like so strange.
Strange.
It's weird.
That's really weird, man.
It is.
But
no, I could.
Before we get rolling into this 3D printing, though, since we've got Timbo back on the show, I've been watching his progress on Instagram and stuff. So we're gonna do like a little bit of an update on your station here, Timbo, before we get rolling hardcore into stuff. But this is your station as it sits right now.
Yeah, it's been pretty slow going. So
Hey, let the people know too. The station has its own page, correct?
yes,
It absolutely
well, I
does.
don't know if they know that or not, but it's Jam 9.
Yep, because I was like,
Oh.
what Timbo's doing.
And
I was like,
Josh
what?
exploded and disappeared.
Oh, am I
there he
good?
is. There you are. You're back.
Okay. Oh, I
Anyways.
just want I was like,
Idiot.
somebody's stealing Timbo's idea and they're naming it Jam Jam. I don't understand. And then I didn't realize I was following one on one account, one not on the other, and I was like, man. So
yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's kind of like similar to I thought, there was only one Zilla, and I think there was another guy named Zilla that I'd messaged that I thought was you.
Zilla Customs, yeah.
Yeah.
No, the best was when we've done stuff before together, like in the past like couple years, and I'll always promote something. I'll be like, yeah, my little brother Zilla, and then people are like, your little brother's really talented. I'm glad that you're bringing him in, and da da da. I'm like, he's not really my brother. Like,
man, your little brother is way more talented than you are. He's got the talent and the looks in the family. Hang it up,
dude. Right? You got all of it. Yeah, leave me alone.
Oh,
like, okay, I guess.
You got all the sleeves in the family too. I'm imagining.
Yeah, that's true.
He donates his sleeves to his little brother so his arms don't get cold. That's how it works.
That's
man.
true. He's a
But-
lot smaller than me.
Before we get rolling, like this always gives, and it's probably just a cliff in the background. And I'm like, I'll say it right out. I'm not a vintage toy guy. Like they are probably the worst thing for me that I would want to world build with because I don't like people that look like sticks when they're just standing there. They're like, "Hi, what's going on? Hey, what's over here?" But this gives me like a total like Boulder Hill from Mask vibe, and I think it's just that cliff up top. You got to add that like little boulder that like tumbles down on top of people and kills them or whatever.
Yeah, that's the top landing pad there, and that's how you would access the station is right here.
Okay.
Okay, so and you've got that
That's
all back,
the door.
right?
What's that?
You've got everything all backlit. Is that where that blue's coming from, or do you
Yeah.
have like a little? Okay,
Yep.
Yeah, dude, that's like totally awesome.
So
can
we go back to that? Can we go back to it? I was just what size is that? What size X-wing is that? Can that platform hold? Is it like the big one or the little one?
That's
what are
the
we
power
talking?
of the Force, I think.
That's a power of the Force one. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so you could hold a couple things up there if need be.
Yeah. Yep. You put a couple ships about that size up there.
Speed racer. Yep.
Yeah, I am planning to do actually another mountain as you're looking at it on the right, and I'm going to have some more. Hopefully, have a bigger landing pad area, and that one's probably going to be more kind of an Imperial type of thing. So, because there are Imperials on my station too, as well, on my planet and all that. So,
that's awesome.
What's up, Cloudy? Are we going to talk about are you about to talk about the new stuff he did?
We are going to get into that for sure.
And you're gonna make Famine cry. What's up, Dead Man?
Dead Man's here.
You guys can see. I know I've been talking a lot, but every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the cool kids time, you can see Dead Man. Where is he at? He's on Skeleton's Tomb. Where is that? On Instagram and only on Instagram. And I'm the co-host, and that's every Wednesday. Skeleton's Tomb, Skeleton Collectibles.
Yeah, definitely tune in. It's a good time on that show. What was it, last week or the week before? You had that like crazy chick that like did shots and like collected toys or something.
Yeah, Dead Man and Dead Man and Sleepless went 1 for 1 with each other.
Yeah, man.
Also, next week though, we're actually not gonna have a show because we're taking over the Pick Bar on YouTube at the same time. So if you guys want to see us, we'll be on the Pick Bar on YouTube at the same time that our show is. So we had the opportunity to take it over, and we're gonna take it over. So if you guys haven't seen that,
he walks onto YouTube and goes, "The only place you can see him is on Instagram." Except for this coming week, everybody.
Except for this week.
Big push for his Instagram, plugs everything. He's like, but by the way, if you happen to step over to the YouTube side of
for
the
the last
we're gonna be over
53
here.
weeks, we have been on Instagram. We are taking 1 week to go plug and help promote our other people's stuff on their thing because it's a really cool podcast, a toycast. So we run it and they run it behind the scenes. So it's like this if Rad wasn't here, but they're running it behind the scenes. So it's really cool. So we pick out the pictures that we like. They use their hashtag. We talk shit, do our thing. It's a lot of fun. So maybe I might learn something about some toy photography. You know, I don't know.
And where can they find a
learn.
link for that, Josh?
I don't know where to find the link.
Oh,
Maybe
here
that
we
you
go.
could. Yeah, I don't have one, but you can go on YouTube, the Pick Bar, or you can go to their Instagram, the Pick Bar. So I'm sure there's a link in their Instagram.
Allegedly.
But every Thursday, I could promote all day if you want. So every Thursday, I do Thunder Thursdays, which is a Power Ranger thing with a lot of the guys from the Pick Bar. So that's also cool.
Well, if it's called Thunder Thursday, it's either a Power Ranger thing or a stripper thing. Like, I don't know.
It's already missing the sleeves, man. Where do you think they go?
Anyways, back to Timbo's station here. So we're moving down a level now in Jam 9. So what's this area of your station you got going on here?
Yeah, right there on the top is the cantina with no name. That was built by one of the kind of mysterious characters of Jam, a guy by the name of Dr. Nobo, and he's there in the green. He's the cloud car pilot. He has a lot of wisdom, very smart guy, is about 3-4 steps ahead of the Empire and what they're trying to do. And but there's also some mystery to him. So he built this cantina. It's hosts different music groups. Max Rebo's brother is there right now playing. It's a fun place to be.
Hey, I know what you could call that bar. If you talk to Wenzilla after the show, I'm sure he can hook you up with some signage for it for sure.
Okay.
I thought that was the name of the bar, and I thought that was hilarious. I thought it was
you thought it was called the bar with no name?
That is the name of it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's what I thought. Okay.
The cantina with no name.
All right.
Okay. Yeah, I thought that was on purpose. Okay. So
there's another bar down below that I don't have a name for yet. So,
but if you guys do want that signage for Barbados and for Jawa Pawa, which is a boost drink, energy drink, and then if you guys also want the beer logos, they're all on top of Amrek's spot page, all pinned right there. And if you want different sizes, they're in the highlights. So,
hey, we have Jawa Pawa on Jam, so we've got a few barrels of that.
And when you guys use the signage, hashtag World Makers Consortium, also tag Rad Toys and Amrex Spot or me. And then, we'll put them up here on this program. I wish I could do that every week, but no one does it. So do it.
So do it now. Well, if you guys tag your stuff, we're gonna.
I take that back. Starboy does. Starboy always.
Starboy's good at it.
Be like him.
You like him. You like Starboy.
We're all trying.
Here we've got. So is this like a 3D printed like landing you've done?
No, that's a shower caddy I found at Target. That's
so good.
I flipped it upside down. I painted it, and it kind of had a really cool pattern on the floor there, as you can see, and used it kind of as a lookout, kind of out, on the mountain. Just kind of an area you could go out.
Oh yeah. I swear it was 3D printed, but no, that totally makes sense now.
Yeah, it's metal. It's made of metal.
That's awesome reuse, dude. It's so good.
It's that matrix vision when you're in a store and you see something that's like completely the exact opposite of what you want to use it for, and you're just looking at it, and all of a sudden it makes sense, and you're just like, I'm going to turn that upside down, and I'm going to put some stuff on it, and it's going to look just like this thing, and you instantaneously spot it. And that's, this dude's in Target and he's looking at like shampoo and he's like, what's this? A shower rack? Hang on. Boom. Go get me some action figures from the toy section. We're hooking it up now. So that's really cool.
Oh, not from Walmart. You go to Walmart to buy all your like world making stuff, and then you go to the thrift store to buy your action figures. Isn't that how it goes? They're too expensive at Walmart. Fuck that.
Not here in the States, bud.
They hit the clearance.
Yeah. Mr. Canadian here. We have to pay 14 canoes and 1 beaver for that TVC figure there.
I thought they were only charging him 3 maple syrups and 1 Canadian quarter. I thought that was
So what do we
you guys hard.
I love this little shot you got here, Timbo. That's like, is that like down in the bottom of the station? I don't recall seeing that.
Yeah, that's towards the bottom. It's just a small little garage area where small ships, things like that can be worked on. There's some Ugnaughts that run that, and long as they're fed, they're happy. So
shout out to the fucking puck lights, man. Those I used to have 1,000 of those, like all throughout.
Well, and it's funny.
It looks good there. It looks
I use
how it should look.
batteries for mine.
Oh,
rechargeable batteries. There you go.
Rad, can you make that big again? I want to ask Timbo about something.
Big.
The little robot in the left-hand corner, is that an Angry Raccoon Miniatures bot, or is that something else that
that's
you found or made?
It's one of the little droids from the Solo movie.
Oh, okay. I didn't know there was an existing toy of that.
I found the file on Thingiverse. That's a 3D print of mine.
Okay.
Oh,
I thought it was like when you said it was from the Solo thing, I thought for sure it was a like a toy that they just released in a 2-pack I never saw. There's a gentleman, Angry Raccoon Miniatures, since we're leading and segueing into the 3D printing, who offers and sells resin printed figurine kits. Okay. And they're really awesome. And that looks like maybe he was inspired by the film, but that looks right up his alley. So I thought perhaps that was one of his.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, I don't know who designed it. It was just a file on Thingiverse that I was able to pull off and use. So
yeah, and I think that guy, I don't recall who it is, but I've seen that one. And I think he does like does he not do a washing machine with legs and stuff? Like he does like weird like household items. I'm pretty sure it's the same guy. I don't know. I've been through Thingiverse like 15 million friggin' times, so it's like you start to see stuff and you're like, oh, I think that's the same guy that made whatever. But we've got one of these containers in here. You can just catch a glimpse of it.
Go ahead, Kevin. Cry.
Yeah, come on, Simon.
Well, I can't find him.
My Target has 3 brand new. Okay, there are 3
How
brand
much?
new sitting on the shelves for $32. So jokes on
Alright,
you
dude,
guys. I'm going to be paying
gonna-
$32 more than the ones you guys keep finding for $1 at the flea market and stuff. Unreal.
Listen though, dude, I was on eBay hard after our conversation, and not hard. I was looking hard. Whatever. I was looking at them anyway. I found a bunch of them, and they're all like around 20-ish and under, depending on how many parts and pieces. But they got some really cool furniture that come with them that we could use also. So like some other stuff in there.
Yeah, and to be fair, that is actually not a shipping container. That's just one of my station builder pieces there that you're seeing from the side. And then there's another piece next to it, so it looks like it, but it's just a single room playset piece. Yeah.
Oh, we thought it was.
They jumped to conclusions. They thought they would get Famine's goat. Well, guess what? I don't even have a goat. So
see, Famine, you can't go buy that. You can't. Buy
yeah, go spend $100 on the 3 that you're gonna get, bro. It's all right.
So, anyways, go check out Timbo's Instagram. He's got all sorts of updates to the station. Moving along. Now we're gonna get into like the meat and potatoes.
You know what? Timbo did tell us that a while back. He was like, "I'm gonna turn these into a thing." So, yeah, I remember that. I think you were showing those.
I say that all the time. I'm gonna turn this into a thing.
I think it was Timbo. He was showing them. He's like, I'm gonna paint them, and I think it was you.
Yeah. I did make that into something. I had some videos, some reels on my Instagram page. It's kind of blue colored, and I put some of my 3D printed wall panels in it. As Famine said, generic 3D printed sci-fi
generic sci-fi panels, baby.
Yes.
There you
go.
I
did one of those. Yeah.
Yeah. Before we jump any further, we do have to pause. We do have to take a moment here and just, give a small silent clap for Wasteman's shirt. That tropical print shirt is dope, man. Cheers.
Thank you.
Nice.
I didn't know we were dressing up. I would have wore a button up too, man. Damn it.
I used to have a bunch of those shirts.
I wasn't a vest and a tie because I just came from a funeral. So I actually considered coming on very dapper and very, well dressed, but I didn't want to embarrass you guys. I didn't want it to become a thing. And,
I'll wear a 3-piece suit. I'll do it.
I will
tuxedo. Next episode is tuxedos. Yeah,
Josh is going to come in with the tuxedo T-shirt with no sleeves.
We will allow Wenzilla to cut the sleeves off his tuxedo.
You know, it's funny, little tidbit. My mom is a seamstress. She owns a bridal place that has tuxedo rentals. So I would probably outdo you. I'm just saying. When Daddy dresses up, it looks good. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't mess around. I do it all.
Imp Daddy's sweetness. So, anyway,
please talk about
it. Yeah. So the meat and potatoes of our show today, we're going to talk about 3D printing, like what you are considering if you're getting into it. Like, we're just going to let you know what you're in for. So, like, I don't know if anybody else's work table looks like this. I used to have nice little like paint setup and models, and then I bought 2 3D printers, and now my work table looks like this. It is just a mass.
Who broke in and trashed your work table?
Yeah, no shit, eh? Dude, that's like stuff like that's like probably like a week and a half's worth of prints. Like, to be fair, most of that, the Greebles there are like they're going to Pirates of the Galaxy and stuff like that. But I find when you start as a customizer and like get into this 3D printing, it is like the messiest fucking thing ever. I don't know what you guys like. I know he's a resin printer, and Timbo's like a filament printer like myself. So how do you guys manage your mess? I'm normally a messy person, so that's kind of what reflects in my work table, but it does build up when you get printing stuff, man.
It definitely helps to not be a hoarder as well, because I've always have like little containers of things that I always think look cool, or like, oh, I don't want to get rid of that, I might need it. 3D printing, even like your rejects, it's just like, oh, you know what, I can use part of that, so I just throw it in a bin. And it is kind of nice because I always have something to work with, but it does become a lot, over time. Yeah, and especially too, like, I get really sentimental if it's the first thing I made of one. It's like, oh no, I don't want to get rid of this, even if it's crappy. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Well, and I do that too. I set stuff aside. I've trained a lot with Pirates of the Galaxy, who isn't here tonight, by the way, probably because he just bought an Xbox Series S. So he's probably sucked into that. But I sent him stuff, and he a part that I cast away, like, I'm never going to, this is stupid, I'm not going to use it. He'll come up with something. So it's really cool. But,
so what you're saying is you don't even send him good stuff. You just send him your seconds, and you're like,
yeah. No, I'll be printing them something. I'm like, oh, that didn't work out. I have to reprint it, but I'll just throw it in the box anyway. Maybe you can use it for something, whatever. But, how do you manage does it become a problem for you, Timbo, or is it like kind of like just like it is what it is kind of thing?
Yeah, I do manage it. I mean, there are things that I print that, I've kind of been at the point with some of my stuff that I like to, if I'm doing like crates or barrels or sci-fi wall panels, I want to have several of them, so I can kind of paint them in a batch rather than, printing something, painting it, printing something, painting it. So, kind of things stack up. So yeah, it definitely, kind of takes some space. I've got a lot of space, so it's not, a huge issue. So, but I do save the stuff that I mess up on. I've been able to find uses for it. Like, there was a crate that I was trying to print, a sci-fi crate, and I'm not sure what happened, but half of it printed. And so I was able to take it and glue it onto a wall, and it kind of looked like just kind of a box sticking out from the wall. So, you find uses for that stuff.
Oh, absolutely. Definitely. And I think too, when you're starting out with 3D printing, you see all these awesome prints. Like for me, it was like, I had an engineer buddy, he has a 3D printer. So I paid him to print me like the Razor Crest from Fine Engineer on Thingiverse. It's an awesome print. It's like the outside is a scan of the HasLab one. But I think going back now, like that's what got me into 3D printing. Well, I can print something like this. But then when you get into it, you're like, if I knew then what I know now, I probably wouldn't have asked him to print that for me, because like every print is like a 3-day print, and if it fucks up, you're toast. Like you've got to start over, right?
Yeah.
So
You may not realize that, some of those prints, the big ones, you have to do individual pieces.
yeah, absolutely. And I think what we start out with stuff like this, where we've got, we want to print little boxes and shelves and stuff to kind of like, this is my little warehouse that I've started, but like that's where you should start. Like print your little cargo boxes, your moisture evaporators, your chair, your throne, your table, like that kind of stuff. Like definitely don't go out and buy a 3D printer tomorrow and think you're going to be printing the Razor Crest. Like it's going to be your first print. Like there is especially like what Timbo's showing off there, like little barrels and stuff. And with especially the PLA printing, like your filament and stuff, there's so many factors to consider. And I think for this one, I'll go to waste, man. Like, what's it like when you start with a resin? Is there a lot of like growing pains, or like how's that kind of start out?
I got into it because my brother-in-law actually got a filament printer for free, like on Craigslist. And so he got it working. And so I did the same thing where I was just like, oh man, I start printing some crates. So I was finding the files, getting them to him. And then I started messing around, making my own, which is a whole nother rabbit hole. But then, I think I started getting them and I started realizing like, oh, I don't like sanding, filling in with putty or whatever and sanding. So as I jumped in resin printing, and it's kind of, you have to approach it a whole nother way, because with the filament, you have like your plate and everything sticking to that, and gravity is holding everything down. With resin, you have to think about gravity and they call it the FEP, or like your little it's like a plastic sheet that's on the bottom of your vat. It's kind of, you got to think of things in a weird upside down kind of way, which is fun, but also just as equally irritating, but very rewarding when you get something to work out. And I'm a very impatient person, so I just dove right in and just started making every mistake in the book. And I was too lazy to watch YouTube videos, too lazy to ask for help, not really embarrassed, but it's just like, no, I can figure this out. I got it. So there's definitely a learning curve, and I hope I answered your question in there somewhere. But
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, it's just it's a different thing. It's if you don't do the supports correctly, your print could fail, and then you may not know. Like with a filament printer, you can see if something's gone wrong,
yeah,
like, immediately. A resin print, there's been times where like I can stop the print, pause it, pull up the raise it up and like try and look, but I'm like, is that right? Is it? I can't really tell, and I can't remove it, to check. So sometimes you're just like, I think this is printing right, but then 6 hours later you're like, oh no, it went bad hours ago. And
okay, well, now, and like, yeah, I get it.
Yeah,
and I guess that's kind of the difference in like, because with a PLA like or a filament print, like if it's going up and all of a sudden it's a big spaghetti mess, like something went wrong, or you can tell when it starts. Like when I first started out, it was like, oh no, it's all good, whatever, and I'm like, oh, okay, well I have to set the Z stop or whatever. So you do that and you start out, and the thing's like, I think my first time out, the tip went right into the bed and just started dragging, and I was like, wow, what's going on? And the same thing, you want to get into it and you're like, I don't know, I guess too proud to like go onto YouTube and like, get advice from other people. You're thinking, oh no, this shit's just plug and play. But to answer, I think he's got Bjorn. So I've got an Ender 3 Pro, and then I went and made the huge mistake. I bought a VoxLab Aquila 2, and I bought it used on Kijiji. Okay, unless you know the person or you see this thing working, do not buy a printer on Kijiji, man. I got it home and it was like $80. Like I think I had a Marvel Legends Strife that he wanted, and I gave him $60 plus the figure, and I took this VoxLab thing home. So a Vox Lab is an Ender clone. It's not. It's made exactly like an Ender with cheaper parts. And when I got it home, the hot end was out of this thing. There was no bearing to feed the filament, so I ended up putting like probably another $100 back into this printer just to get it running. And even then, I was so new to the hobby that I didn't know what the hell I was doing. Like I set up like on my Ender 3 is working great. I'll set it up like that. No, like every 3D printer you get is a completely different animal. Like your Vox Lab is not going to run like your Ender. Your higher end Enders are going to do something different than your lower end Ender printer. Like it's
Dude,
totally wild. Like they're like their own animals, all of them.
you said hobby. I don't think any of you at all. This is like a lifestyle, 3D printing. Like, do your machines ever shut off? You guys don't occasionally make some shit like a bird on a 3D printer. Like, you guys are always running your shit. Like, I think
Well,
it's a
yeah,
way
and
of
for
life,
myself,
bro.
wait, I can speak for myself in the sense that you get to a point where okay, you're waiting on filament to show up from Amazon, or your Bowden tube is like you need a new one, or you're down to like that's the frustrating part. Like the ends of your Bowden tube will get burned up, so you'll keep trimming it off, and you get
I hate when that happens,
yeah,
dude.
yeah,
Twice a day for
yeah.
me, man. My Bowden
So you
tube
keep
gets
trimming
burned
it
off.
off, so you end up with a Bowden tube that's only
Oh,
long enough to only like work in the middle of the printer, and it's like holy fuck, man.
Exactly what happens.
mhm.
You can't have your
Josh
Bowden
knows.
tube too short. I'm not even getting into that again, man. That sausage,
Dude,
that sausage
Kogels.
last week was no. I
Hey,
know I want to talk
hey,
about
wait. Devastation sent me a picture this week while he was in the
oh, is that
grocery
the guy
store.
with is that the guy with the shakes and the childhood trauma?
Listen. Anyway, he sent me a picture. He was like, I was walking by the meats, and my wife was looking at me like I was crazy because I couldn't stop laughing. So he took a picture and sent it to me, dude. It's
That's
hilarious.
awesome.
I think that
So
guy deserves some gifts from you guys.
Oddly, I did get an email from Kogos. They said to stop saying Kogos and cease and desist. So,
The
so it's like
CND.
a
I guess,
reverse endorsement. Don't ever talk
yeah,
about us
yeah.
again.
Like we are a high quality brand of meat. We do not need our name smeared through the mud on your stupid little channel. Okay. I said, all right,
You can't just force Kogels into
you
somebody's
got
mouth.
me.
Like you can't force it.
Nope.
No doubt. But
You must
the other
ask
thing,
first.
getting away from the cylindrical meat objects. Uh,
Be a
so
great band name.
the other thing that I like about the 3D printing for me is like so I'm doing like obviously doing the big 1/18th Star Wars world, but I'm like, well, I love shit like Fallout and stuff too. So the thing that I like about it is I can bring like stuff like this into my 1/18th world. So I've got like the Brotherhood of Steel like occupying my galaxy now, and that's like an opportunity that a 3D printer can give you. It's like to create or bring something into the world. Like obviously I didn't do the bodies, but I 3D printed the power armor helmets and the Liberty Prime. And like, have you
That's
guys
good.
kind of used that to bring other properties into your worlds, or what? Like, how do you approach that?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll jump in. Yeah, I think it's nice because I mean all the STL files, like Thingiverse and Cults 3D. I mean, there's just so much stuff. Like every day I go on there, I'm like, oh, okay, no, save that. I'm gonna print that later. Oh, I better download that file now because I don't want it to disappear. I'd rather have it. Um, so there's always something new. And even when I first started printing, and I was printing like I was trying to do like some more like droid heads, like R2 unit heads. And my main job is I work for a guitar company. So I'm like, oh man, you know what? I could take these and make some guitar knobs out of them. So I made a bunch of R2D2 like guitar knobs that all I had to do was I found a STL file for a regular Stratocaster knob, took it, or basically cut it apart in Tinkercad, used what I needed for the little splined insert, and then smashed it together. And oh, now I'm making guitar knobs. And then next thing you know, all my friends want one. So Yeah,
Specifically, did it make that noise when you put it together? Did it make that noise?
that was that's the most accurate description I can
Okay.
I can do. But I also make that noise just randomly myself constantly.
They probably make a cream for that. I don't know.
I should really get it looked at. Thanks. But yeah, it's I mean I think when Scylla was asking, you know, like the 3D printer always running, I'll go through spurts where, you know, it's just like, yeah, I keep having ideas, so I'm going to print out a bunch of stuff. And my resin printer, it's a big one. I didn't start with the small one. So it's very easy for me to be like, oh, okay, I'll run a test on one. And then it's like, oh, that worked. All right, cool. Here's 50 of them. And then I'll just run it. So I have them. And then I have like a little fishing tackle box thing that I throw all of the things I've made. So I have a lot of stuff ready. And then yeah, it's I don't know. There'll be nights where it's I'm really into it, and some nights where I'm like, I don't even want to look at that thing. I'm sick of it, you know. But then, you know, a week later, I'm back.
Yeah, I think
That's
the most of
awesome.
my printers have sat idle is probably while I'm waiting on parts. Like I've already replaced like a stepper motor, a hot end in one of them. Like the other hot end's probably gonna have to be done soon. Like these things, like in my house, they run absolutely like nonstop. Like
And
just,
I was gonna say too, like as far as like paint, dude, like Wasteman, holy crap, dude, you can throw some paint, bro.
Oh,
Like,
thank you. I got my
like,
start as a guitar painter, so I've had a lot of practice. So
okay,
this is
that
just
makes
painting
sense.
on a smaller scale.
Because I'm
So
dude,
like,
I've,
holy shit! I was like, when did that character come out? Like, that's nuts. I was like, oh shit, that's a custom. What the fuck? Like, or that's a resin print. And then yeah, I was just like, that's insane,
yeah.
man.
Yeah, I have one. I found some earthworm gem heads on online on
Dude.
on Thingiverse, and so yeah, I printed a couple of them, and I've been slowly getting the head painted just the way I like it. But yeah, it's very easy to just get lost and just have a list of things that, you know, it's just like, oh yeah, I need to do that, and that's probably why too I have a bunch of 3D printed junk, is I just get in a mode and just keep printing. So
he's got a
Yeah,
question for you. Well, just before I do that, so Wasteman, do you have a Saturn or a Jupiter?
I actually have it's an Anycubic Pro Max or something. I forget the model name exactly, but Anycubic is the brand name.
Yeah,
And
they're
it's a big one. I think the dimensions, like, you know, the total whatever volume that I could print is like 11 by 6 by like 16. So yeah, it was I think it was about $1,100, $1,000. So
Bless you.
definitely not the entry level one, but
oh, I've seen those ones. They're like huge. Well, huge compared to like an entry level one, that's for sure. But the other thing I wanted to touch on too was the filament or the resin printing. To me, I've seen samples of both seem to come out a little smoother. So to me, if I was doing a bunch of action figures or heads, I think I would get a resin printer just for that. I found an example here where this droid, it looks great from far away, but when you zoom in on it, you can totally tell that was 3D printed, like just with filament, right?
yeah.
Did you say that?
The layer
Did you say
lines.
that looks great?
No, it doesn't look great. It looks okay. It looks fine.
No. You
It
said
looks
from far away that looks great. And I
from
was
far
gonna
away.
say,
It does.
kind of looks like shit.
I think
Like,
I
I
think
don't know.
you zoomed in on it in that picture.
Oh,
No, I zoomed
Can
right
you
in
show the ones? Can you show the ones that he painted instead? Like this guy, because his
Here,
are
give me
if you don't
awesome.
look at it, it
pictures.
looks phenomenal.
But that's what I'm getting at, Josh. Where
Turn
the
the
resin,
lights off and take a look. It looks
resin,
great.
yeah, resin printing, you're getting a nice smooth print. Where with action figures and stuff, it's not really a thing for PLA. Like PLA is for like structures and barrels and like things without high detail. Whereas like the resin printer is where it's at for high detail. Like you can get like something that looks way better than like that for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when
And I
when
think
I
that
came into 3D printing. I came from wargaming, and I had kind of a decision of, do I want to be able to print my own miniatures? Because if so, I felt like I needed to, explore resin printing to do that. Or do I want to print structures and things like that for my wargaming table? And I chose, to go with a filament for that purpose. And I have been able to use that, with the world building too as well, which is building panels, some things, different things. So I do feel like the resin, I have some stuff that's resin printed that I've purchased, and it just, it has a really smooth feel, and it just looks, the details just really pop. It feels different than a filament printed object.
Absolutely. And but things like, if you want like barrels and crap like that, like this is like a little vegetable market, like that's fine. That does the trick, kind of thing, right? But like I said, this is what my buddy 3D printed for me, and this is what kind of started the disease of like, when you get a 3D printer, like there is like an addictive level to it where you just want everything pumped out like right away. And like, I think within my first week or two of 3D printing, I was already looking for a second printer because I'm like super impatient. I always want stuff rolling off the assembly line, right?
Yeah.
Like it gets to be like you get that backlog of prints where you're like on Thingiverse, you're like save, like making all these files, but like it just sometimes with 3D printing feels like you can never get caught up because you're always waiting for something to finish, right?
Yeah.
I will say that's the benefit of the resin printer is the time, because compared to you guys where, if you print 1 or 10 things, it's going to take, 1 times, it's going to take 10 times as long versus printing one thing. Whereas the resin printer is nice because whether I print 1 or 50, it's still going to take the same amount of time. So, if I have something that's going to print for an hour, I get 50 of them rather than just 1.
That's cool.
It's definitely a way to, I would say, like me, I didn't start with filament, but that's
Crazy.
definitely one of the benefits that I am like a big fan of. It's just like, all right, cool, I got this figured out. Right now, let's crank them out.
Oh, absolutely. And like, Red Kanata's here. He's like totally right. There is people that run 3D farms, but you got to be careful in this too, because like usually, like if I'm going on, I've got the Razor Crest or the White Witch or something. You always try and give them on a show on YouTube, and like I've done that with like tons of them on Thingiverse and Cults 3D. But just I don't know. It's like a drop it off and forget it. Typically, Thingiverse, everything's free, and there's a disclaimer on Thingiverse saying that anything you post here becomes like public domain, but you will get individuals who are like, you can't sell my stuff, don't rip me off, kind of thing, which is completely understandable. Where you get into a site like Cults 3D, where you have like probably, I would say, over 50% of the stuff is like a paid print. Like somebody's put the work into it and they want to get their money out of it. Like I paid $50, I think, or 50 pounds to get the prints for the gigantic sail barge or whatever, like the scan of the HasLab one, which, fair enough. Like what you guys do, all STL Finder, or those pretty much the two sites? Because to me, those are the only ones that I found that are substantial enough to really find anything decent on.
Yeah. Yeah, I've used Thingiverse a lot. And right now I've been working on designing my own stuff in the Tinkercad program. And so I've been spending a lot of time with that. And, there's a lot of trial and error with 3D printing. So especially in designing your own stuff. But I was very fortunate. My brother-in-law was into 3D printing and he helped me. And so it was really nice to have somebody that, had already been doing it for about a year or so. And for them to kind of walk me through the steps of, getting things ready, learning it, setting it up. And there are different, like if you're going to do a filament printer, I don't know if resin's like this. It looks like it might be different, but with some of the filament printers, depending on which one you buy, you might have to put together every single piece of your printer. And I got one that was like that. And my brother, I recommend you return that and get this one. And so I got the Ender 3 version 2 Neo with the auto bed leveling. and it's basically all put together. You just have to put the main, arm holder thing on, and it's super easy to get going with that one compared to the one I had before, where you had to put every single piece together. So that's just something to be mindful of.
Yeah, well, like if you go and buy the cheapest Ender, it's an Ender 3 version 2, which I had for a while, and it's completely disassembled. I mean, like you got it out of the box, like you're building the whole frame, you're attaching the motors, you're building it from the ground up. They're basically sending you like a box of parts. So just be prepared for that. And I don't know, maybe on Amazon or wherever you buy from, you can kind of like inquire to see what state it's at. But I think too, and like this was the first thing I had to alter on like an AutoCAD program, because like the face was it was way too narrow. Like sometimes it's not enough to just upscale something. So fortunately you can go on Thingiverse or whatever, find it, and sometimes you can get the actual like source drawings that they use. So you can put them into like SolidWorks or FreeCAD or whatever. But going into this thing too, so Timbo's got these panels that he's designing now, like himself, and like how are you going to make these available? Is this something you're going to sell, or like just give us some details on this?
Yeah, I was kind of just working on putting together kind of a panel pack, that would be available. People could purchase from me on Instagram and eBay. So might be about double what you see there, but just different sizes, variations. The ones that look like this that you're seeing there, you can use it as like a single piece, or you can actually cut it and be able to have two panels if you wanted to, or cut it right here and look like make it look like it's wires that connect to another box or something like that. So
I just thought of that. That's pretty smart that you did like the connectors. Connectors actually look like wires or whatever. That's pretty cool. So then also you've got this cargo hauler thing that you're working on too. So this is it unpainted. Oh, we got losing there. So this is your cargo holder, and this is at the unpainted stage, right?
Yeah, that's the cargo hauler I just designed.
Do you have that in your hand?
I do. Yeah.
Okay. I wanted to see it because I can't see it on this fucking thing. So
I think he has some more pictures. But
there we go.
Those are pictures of the finished one too.
So this is kind of what it looks like, and designed a little seat here so a guy could sit on it, and you can put the different cargo stuff on it, and just kind of designed to look like it would be something you'd see in a bay, a docking bay or something, where you had a ship with a bunch of cargo that
dude, if you put reindeer on it, it would look like a sleigh.
Yeah.
Nice.
Little control panel there on the top, and kind of the magnetic floor or whatever. But yeah.
So do you have does it just sit on the ground, or are you gonna make like little pegs that kind of hold it up off the ground so it's hovering?
It's got tracks, kind of.
Yeah, it's got tracks on it, and that was something that I'd kind of forgotten about. But what I need to do when I update this is, because I designed it to be printed as one piece, and those tracks were on the bottom. When the filament went from one side to the other, making the flat part here, it sagged right here in between. And so, what I'm going to do, with that is, you take these tracks off, and print those as separate pieces so that everything's flat, and then glue it together when it's done.
Famine, what did you just say?
I didn't say anything, brother.
Yes, you did.
He said there's a little bit of sagging down in between, and I said, yeah, same here ever since I turned 35.
Okay, I thought that's right.
I thought I heard something about sagging there.
I've got a little hack, Timbo, for you covered the sagging and handled that out. But as far as making ships like that, especially or vehicles that are that wide, you can get one of those mini Jenga blocks and paint it black, stick it in the middle, and for most photos, you're never going to see that block there. But casual walking by, it looks like it hovers. So people out there that maybe buy one from Timbo or come up with something on their own, little mini Jenga block underneath most vehicles is a great way to make it look like it's elevated without ruining the integrity of the feel.
Yeah, that's what the two pieces that look like sleigh pieces underneath. That's kind of what they're designed to do. If you could see that.
Okay.
But I'm gonna move those out from underneath and print them separately, and then I'll glue them to it, and I'll glue them a little closer to the middle, and so then it will kind of have the appearance that it's hovering. So
awesome.
Wait, are you saying you're just gonna have 3 tracks? Because wouldn't that fix it too?
No, he's gonna pull the tracks in closer to the center of the base instead of having.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, these tracks I'll print them separately, and then I'll be able to kind of move them in closer here. You know, kind of this middle area compared to where they are now. You can kind of see if I print them separate and glue them on the middle, it'll have more of a hovering effect. It still does now. It still looks like it's hovering now, but that'll make it even better, and it'll help with the integrity of the print too, because the the filament wasn't structured there to so
yeah, that's something I never think about. Like when I'm doing a print, I'll be like, yeah, I'm just gonna print it, whatever. And you're like, that one part overhangs and it just doesn't work out. And it's like, what are you doing? Yeah. But the other thing that never occurred to me until recently was doing like 3D printing kit bashes. So you're basically taking different parts of different ships, and you can print them out and just glue them together. Like that's an old Republic freighter and like a Y-wing cockpit that I just printed out and decided to just like smash together. But it's like, yeah, don't even
like think... how could those wings hold up that fat ass on that thing? Like
it's space, dude.
You sound like every person I've met who I've been dressed in front of. Let me tell you.
But I think a lot of it is like,
shit.
You're gonna be all right, buddy. You're gonna be all right.
I don't.
But a lot of it is like.
I just imagined. Like a little chicken.
You're imagining. We're waiting for Wenzel to like think about his imaginings.
All right, go ahead. Anyway, fat ass, little wings.
Hey, the Millennium Falcon doesn't have any wings, so
yeah.
You should call out the turkey or something. And gobble gobble. The gobble.
It's called the knob gobbler.
No, no.
Oh.
No.
Wow.
No, I'm sending it to Amrak Spot. They like ships like that over there.
We accept everyone here.
Come to Amrak Spot. You'll get your knob gobbled.
There's no room for hate. There's no room for hate.
Gobble gobble.
But I think with getting towards the end of our like 3D printing thing, but I think the big thing was just like I got it to like fill out my 3D printing worlds. Like I've got like cots that you can print out, like or sci-fi sleeping pods or like whatever you want to do. But I think the main thing I think I could tell anybody that's getting into it, like you're not gonna start out like printing something like this beast here. Like this is 40 inches long, and it's like every print was 30 hours, and it's like you got to start slow, man. Start with the boxes, the stairs, the bunk beds, the fireplaces, like that kind of stuff. Like you got to walk before you can run. That's all I can say about 3D printing. And I find a lot of things too with filament. Like don't buy the $10 roll of filament on Amazon because it's on sale that day, because you're probably going to get it and it's probably going to be garbage. There's a reason nobody wanted it and they had to put it on sale. So, But just getting into the end of our 3D printing thing here, like, do you guys have any final advice for people getting into it or any recommendations?
Just don't start.
Just don't start. Don't even get into it. Don't even consider it.
Yeah.
Forget what we talked about for the last 40 minutes.
Yeah, no, I think like you said, just keep your expectations, modest at first. If you go in thinking you're going to be a rock star and be like, oh yeah, it looks easy, because it does. You see guys doing the YouTube videos and it does look super easy. You're like, oh, I just push a button. I just whatever I want. I just print it out. It doesn't always work. And I will say with the resin, I got mine in the wintertime, and the resin, you have to keep the viscosity in mind. So
what the fuck does that mean? What did you just say?
You're a car guy, Josh. The oil. If you leave your motor oil out,
Oh,
in the cold,
viscosity.
it's gonna be thick.
Yeah.
And if it's hot, it's gonna be thin.
Well, it just, I don't want to get too adult. Never mind.
Fat ass,
but
little wings.
no, but yeah, I found out the hard way that I live in Southern California, so we kind of have like pretty good weather for printing most of the year, but it does get cold here in the winter. And this last winter we got hey, we got snow. I got snow.
You got snow, man. You got snow.
Yeah. But it was a day when I was like trying to get something. I was really excited, wanted to print. All my prints failed because it was too cold and the viscosity of the resin was too, it wasn't flowing enough. So, and it took me a minute to really think about it, and I felt like an idiot afterwards. But I'm just like, oh yeah, of course it's not going to flow right. So yeah, you got to keep the temperature in mind, and it's really harmful. You don't want to get the resin on your hands. You don't want to, be, you always want to be wearing gloves. I had my first like major resin spill. It spilled like all over my shoes, all over my fucking pants. Sorry, bleep.
No, you could say fuck twice on this show.
Oh, okay. Fuck yes. Oh, damn it.
It's not toy domination, dude.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, toy domination. Boo. No, sorry.
No.
So yeah, I fucking spilled it all over my pants, my fucking shoe. No, but I had to like lock down my garage because I'm like, all right, can't let the dog in here because I don't want my dog stepping it, And it was just a pure just a split second mistake, just not paying attention. And then I had like 2 hours of cleaning. And then I just spilt, a whole bottle of $30 resin. So yeah, it can be, it's nice because PLA filament doesn't spill. So yeah, it's definitely a lot more to think
filament
about.
on the floor once. Joking.
Yeah.
And I just picked
it just bounced back up in your hand, and but it does take a lot more extra care. I keep mine in the garage because I don't want to be breathing the stuff in. I don't want the house to smell like it. I don't personally think it stinks, but some people it does affect more. So if you like the smell of gasoline, you'll probably like the smell of resin, or at least there's something miswired in your brain. But yeah. I don't know. I would say with resin, it's definitely pros and cons. It has definitely, but it's a little bit more advanced. You got to pay attention. I can't be knocking back Coors Light while I'm printing. Otherwise, I make mistakes.
I'm out. So Timbo, your closing words before we move on to our next thing here.
Just a couple tools. And this may not necessarily be for resin printers, but for filament printers, I do feel like, having something like, the hobby files, these come in, really handy with your prints, just being able to sand, rough, you guys have seen these, I'm sure, right? They're just your hobby files.
Tail files.
Yeah. And, clippers, and then, always want to have some alcohol in your bed. So that you can remember that.
Oh, yeah.
That's to clean the bed. So I cleaned it after every print. Yeah.
I bet your family has alcohol in his bed right now.
No.
His bedside. That's a great big old bottle like Jägermeister or something, just hammering her down at bedtime.
It's on a gerbil. It's on a gerbil bottle next to my bed. Just pure Jägermeister.
A gerbil bottle next to your bed. Didn't Richard Gere go to like the hospital for that back in the 90s?
Jesus Christ, poor Richard Gere. That's right up there with the rumor in school that every school had that Marilyn Manson had a rib removed so he could I
think I actually heard it was the guy from Tool, but yeah.
No, I heard that Marilyn Manson was the kid from Silver Spoons.
Hey, are we going to talk about things we got this week or anything?
Yes, we are. We're getting right to you. So now we're done talking about Marilyn Manson and his lack of ribs.
And why were his ribs gone, Ren? Make sure that you explain that to the audience.
Oh, no. I'm not explaining that. Like, people, like, they get it, man. They can Google
You should Google it.
Google's for. You need to go and Google why Marilyn Manson had a rib removed after the show.
He
tonight.
didn't really do that. So,
Do you know him?
Were you there? Are you the rib, Josh? Then you don't know.
I'm a professional rib surgeon. I remove and replace ribs. But, anyways,
The Canadian
Josh,
Jack of the Ribber.
what did you get this week that you
Ow.
want to show us?
it's
All right.
Yeah.
What just happened to you?
I got this at the beginning of the week. Opened it up, used it on both my pages because I shot him 112 mode, but I also shot him in 118 world. So did some shots with him in the Wayne Manor and such, and it was a lot of fun. So Justice Buster McFarlane, it's about $40. I'm sure he'll be around like 30 someday or less. But he moves really well. You can go to my Instagram and see I did a little unboxing, but he has Ratchet up top, like Ratchet in the arms. Fingers and stuff don't move, but if you have like a bat cave or something, it'll look really cool. And the legs have a lot of cool stuff going on as far as joints, and you can make them taller if you want, or kick it back in. So it actually moves quite a bit, and that's also you can spin the legs too.
Oh shit!
That's
Nice.
cool.
As far as the torso, it doesn't do too much, but I'm sure you could get up in there and retool it.
Josh, I'm gonna say one thing to you.
Yeah.
Cape.
What did you say?
Give that thing a cape.
He's got boosters on the thrusters.
Yeah, but for pictures, come on, how toyetic. You make
Yeah.
one of them McFarlane style capes out of one of your sleeves from your shirt since you don't own them anymore, and you just make a cape.
That's
But
what
his
I use
booster-
for all of my soft goods. But
His boosters will burn his cape if he tries to fly away.
Yeah,
I
I
just
had a
have to
question
hold
for
it
you,
over
Josh.
him. What?
I
What's
had a question for you. I saw your pictures.
Yes,
What do
sir.
how do you do the smoke?
Inside, I use a non-tobacco, non-nicotine vape. Outside, I use a fog machine. So
Okay.
right now, I'm using a like mid-density fog. I was for years using the high density, so this is like in the
Behind
middle. I don't love it as much, but it's fun. And then I also got in. I'm working on it right now. I'm doing a reel for these. If you guys know the wolf and the girl, Joy Toy, 118 Joy Toy, they're like badass looking wolf with the chick and the guns and the anyway. They're in a pack of 6, and in that pack of 6, there's those two as a pair. There's another set as a pair and another set, and together Amazon is trying to get like 260, 270 for them for all 6.
Absolutely not.
So you can then look, and then they have the 4 together, not the wolf and the girl, but the 4 together, the soldiers, and they wanted like 130, 170, something crazy. So if you buy them all single, not single, but in sets, 2, in sets of 2, they're actually like 56 or 59 or 58, and then like $6 off. So I got all 4 of them for 112. But so you get this big boy right here.
That's the one you're sending to me, right, Josh? You're just gonna slide that in the box,
Oh.
Chip. Thank you.
Yeah, so
I
he's
love that.
pretty
That's
cool.
awesome, man.
And he comes
That's a great
with
one.
this guy.
Hmm.
And this guy I'm shooting right now. So I'm actually shooting some shots of him.
Is he
And
shooting
then the
back?
other, no, he's fake going pew pew pew. And then the other one is this guy.
Nice.
Oh,
I like the armor on those. I can't wait to see the shots that you get on these because like there's so much detail that the photographers that they hire to make these box photos and stuff don't capture. And then guys like you, some of the other toy photographers, they'll do setups and you'll notice shit that's not there in any of the promo photos that, you know,
They're
make
pretty
the
good,
toy
man.
really nice.
And the only issue, so I'm messing with the first guy. The only issue I'm having, actually, I have him right here. I'll grab him.
Don't knock anything over.
I'm a pro. The only issue I'm having is the hands keep falling off because on this is the only one I've messed with. So I think something just fell off.
Wow.
So you see that on his wrist, there's like a thing in between his gauntlet and his wrist. Damn it. There we go.
Yeah.
And that thing pushes it, so you almost need like a longer peg or something just for him. Now I don't know if it's like that on all of them, or you could just take that thing off. But the hands keep falling off this guy. But he does have some really cool details. Very acid rain feel.
Yeah, you know what? That looks like crap. You should just send it to me.
All right. And then one last thing I just wanted to bring up. I reached out to Morphonauts to see if we can have them on the program. I did some work with them in the past. This was years ago. And this was one of their things. And I did a, hang on, I gotta put his mask back on. But I did a custom paint job for them.
Thing is sick, man.
That's so good.
Awesome.
So at the time I was into Lord Draken, so I made him like a Lord Draken helmet. So yeah, they sent me this, and then I put this backpack on him. But I don't know if I have any pictures up. But they are. I do plan on getting stuff. I know Famine plans on getting some stuff from
Famine
them,
did
so.
order 3. He's got 3 on
Yeah.
the way here.
Yep.
Oh,
So
nice.
we will see very soon.
As always, I'll do a review. I'm excited to see the stuff too, but I put in an order for 3 figures. He's got a great deal going. If you get something, don't cite me on it exactly, but I think it's like you save $16 if you get 3 of figures in 3 3/4 inch scale, and the scales are 2.5 and up to I think some of it's 1/6. So in between 112, 118, you can pick up printed kits that are just the pieces, or you can get them pre-built. And I think there's a painted option, but that's obviously going to be a little more costly. And
Yeah.
I definitely am. Yeah, if anybody doesn't know, I'm sure you do. Famine's been doing lives on YouTube as well, so turn on your notifications so you can get in there. Last one was like an in-depth look into Gimmick Station. So yeah, go check.
You'll get it one day.
Is it?
We got you
Gimmick. Gimmick Starport. Sorry.
Yeah, we got you to learn the word consortium, and Starport apparently fell out of your head.
I just started calling it Amarak Spot and not Amarak Station, so it takes me a bit to get stuff.
I thought you were going to be better than that by now. I thought you would learn.
This fucking guy, man.
This fucking guy is.
Oh, it was a while ago. It's all right, man. It's all right. It's all right.
Don't tell me it's all right. What do you? But yeah, that's all I got for this week. And yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
So Famine showed all his stuff off on his live their last night.
I did.
His stuff.
For as far as what I get this week, I did get this lovely lady here, Mama Rosie. So she's up here now, and she's very snuggly. I did bring something for show and tell though, because you guys were talking 3D printing. I still have the very first 3D printed item that I own, and getting a hold of things now that are 3D printed and resin printed. The tech has grown immeasurably. Even the worst prints now have better layer lines than the older ones. So, yeah, I just thought that was neat to show off.
No doubt. Yeah, it's definitely come along since it started.
Is that a Lord Draken over your shoulder?
It is. I was waiting for how many episodes it would take for you to recognize that that's there.
You've never been this crystal clear, man. You look perfect tonight.
Thank you. How you doing? We'll chat after the show. Slide in the DMs.
Hey.
Yeah, that's from when my girlfriend and I met him at Rhode Island Comic Con.
Nice.
Yeah, I can't make this thing zoom in, or I'd zoom in on it, but maybe I'll show it in a reel.
Well, I was one of the first people to suit act and or cosplay as Lord Draken himself. Just little FYI.
Just throwing that out there.
It was me, Chris Cantata, and then man, what's his name? It doesn't matter. No one's gonna be watching this that cares about cosplay. So anyway.
But so Timbo, did you pick anything up this week, or is it a dry spell?
No, I grabbed. I hope I don't get booted out, but they're 1/12 scale. A couple of the gaming grades.
Can we cut his feed?
One guy's got a rocket launcher, so we'll forgive it.
Oh yeah, couple gaming greats. Stormtroopers, the rocket launch trooper. I just thought they're, just a little, over $10 a piece. I don't know. I like the Black Series stuff. Some of the troopers, and I do try to do some small world building with 1/12 scale. Not nearly, 1/18 is my main thing, but I just thought this guy will make, a great captain because he's got the shoulder pauldron. And so, being able just to have him with some other troopers, 4 or 5 other troopers in a display is going to be kind of cool. So,
and that head probably pops off. You could pop off the pauldron, right? Or is that sculpted fast to the armor? Yeah. So like $10 for an army builder in 1/12 scale, I can't slight you, and especially since it's the newer Stormtrooper buck. Like,
it's the
that's
new,
a great sale for you.
The new the 2020 Stormtrooper body, which is by far like the best Black Series Stormtrooper body, and so a lot of posability.
Nice. All right, Waste Man, you got anything new this week, or are you just chilling?
No, I mean, just tune in for me and Timbo's 12-inch or 1/12 scale. After show starts.
What kind of feed are you guys running? A 12-inch after show? Jesus, I might as well hang it up.
I guess me and Famine will just have the 3 3/4 show.
3 3/4, 3 inch, yeah. Jesus.
Like Timbo, I do like some of the Black Series stuff. So I mostly collect the bounty hunters when I see them like for cheap, and I mean, that honestly, I will say that got me into like action figures again, because I was like, whoa, these are super cool, about a year ago. And then I was like, yeah, but there's no ships for Black Series. So then I got into 1/18 because I dusted off my old Naboo fighter. And speaking of the Naboo fighter, I did get the Mandalorian one. I haven't opened it up yet.
Nice.
I've been holding off just to I don't know, maybe when I have a bad day, then it'll be like, all right.
How much is that thing on eBay right now?
I don't think it's being scalped, because I think they're still available.
I think it's
really?
$129 on Big Bad Toy Store.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they're $99.99 and at retail, so
it's not bad, really. So.
Yeah.
Oh,
go ahead. What?
Okay.
Yeah. I got that, but other than that, I don't know, just nothing crazy. You guys are more exciting than I am.
Thank you. Everybody remember that. You remember, when you're thinking of Old Famine, what Waste Man said.
Old Famine.
He didn't say specifically you, man.
Specific?
He did, though.
Spudcific?
Specific.
Spudcific used to drive car for NASCAR, didn't he?
Yeah. I'm Spudcific. I'm number 79. But anyways. So, that'll probably do it for the show tonight, eh? Anybody else want to... That's the Canadian thing coming out there.
Famine. Come on out. Famine, are you going to say the closer? It's you tonight.
All right. So if, we've all been thankful that you're here on behalf of Rad and behalf of Wentzilla.
Wait, are we done? Is that it? Is that everything
are we wrapping it up? Is that what's going on here?
We're wrapping her up, man. That's our show tonight.
All right, so you guys should always wrap it up.
Yes.
Be safe, get tested, and get your titties sucked.
Your pets.
Get your titties sucked.